You can hear me all right?
Yeah, man.
Beautiful. Righto.
Here we are.
My mother asked me to ask you if you'd like to join us for dinner.
Why?
I was hoping you'd know.
Happy bloody days. Oh. Oh. Oh no, I've got to put... Oh, I'm tapping pencils yet. I will hit the... Very unorganised. Very unorganised. So, why do I feel like not right? There we go. So, you should be able to have a talk. You should be able to hear me, not you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
And I can hear you.
Yeah.
Which means I'm doing something right. I feel like I'm not in the right spot, eh? This is going to mess with me. What's changed? What's different? How unprofessional. This will do. I think this is as good as it's going to get. Righto. Cool. Welcome back, everyone. Firstly, thank you to everyone on Patreon. Allowing me to do this essentially and put a bit more time and effort and whatnot into it. If you're listening on Spotify, you are behind. There is more episodes on Patreon, but even if you are listening on Spotify, thanks for listening away. Anytime. In any case, sorry. So today we have Chris. Hello, Chris.
How are we?
I'm good, dude. I suppose today's a bit of a weird one because usually I organise with people and there's like back and forth and then it's a time and a date. But we've been in each other's faces for like 6 days now. 6 days you got down the chin?
Yeah, yep.
6 days. So you come down with a couple of other lads from Victoria to hunt the back end of the last week of our Tasmanian 2026 deer season.
Yeah.
Which we went up to Tombs Lake for a bit, and then we've been hunting down around at my family farm. We did all right and got a few on the ground, and thought we'd sneak a podcast in as well. So basically, I suppose a bit of a backstory. We first met, it'd be nearly exactly 12 months ago.
Yep.
When I came over to Victoria and went up the high country, and that was you were still drinking then.
Yeah, right into it.
Just pull that closer. Yeah. Right into it, I suppose. So I suppose the basis, the premise of this is your story of sobriety and rehab and all that sort of stuff. So how long have you been sober for now?
Coming up 7 months.
Yep. So that was the thought it'd be good to get someone else's story of recovery and stuff, I guess. Hopefully that tractor's, can you hear that?
Oh, a little bit.
There's a tractor spreading fertiliser outside. Hopefully it's not going to, we'll push through. Hopefully it's not going to interfere with this too much. But, when we first met, I still remember we were at the pub and I still remember you were like drinking and you'd had a few and you're like, you were asking me, how do you do it? And you were intrigued and stuff. But you were pretty well tanked. And then I remember another mutual friend of ours, he rang me not long afterwards, a little bit afterwards, and said that things had gotten worse, and then you were like aware that you needed a change and you wanted to go to rehab and all that, and then ended up doing it, and he out the other side of it. So so I suppose what was how did you slip into alcoholism? I guess, do you know, or just sort of?
Nah, it's sort of really. I suppose I've always had a sort of fair problem with the drinking. But it just sort of really crept up on me, I suppose. From a young age, every weekend, sort of at the pub or parties. And then, it just sort of really got out of hand. I'd say the last probably 5 or 6 years was sort of daily drinking and like real sort of active, like. But like there was before then there was still like your full days on the weekends or whatever.
Yeah.
But
I mean, and the other thing, I suppose, like jumping forward a bit, even when we were talking before you come over and stuff, the other side of it as well, like you were saying about how your guts are a bit average and whatnot, and you were drinking those 196, which is it's just lemon juice and vodka, and saying about how like the other, I mean, all the bad effects of alcohol, but just that side of it, like having 9 litres of lemon juice in your guts every day, it's like,
Yeah, 7 months on and I'm still feeling it.
It took me a long time, man, and even so now, like I had the shakes for a long, long time. I had headaches for about 5 or 6 weeks, or maybe even more, which I thought, like, and I'd come out of detox and I was in rehab and the resident leader. Like no amount of Panadol or Nurofen or anything would sort of take the edge off this headache. And I said to him, I was like, dude, like I'm not detox completely, like, you know, something's wrong. And he was like, no, it's the sugar. And that was something that I'd never thought of, was just all the sugar in beer and the premix stuff I was drinking.
Yeah.
And then my body withdrawing from all that sugar, fucking just like headaches like I've never ever experienced in my life.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's that sort of that after effect, the stuff that you're paying for, you know, who knows however long, but through the choices we've made, I suppose.
Yeah.
So what made you realise that you needed to go to rehab, or that you wanted to go to rehab?
I suppose it was only sort of about 12 months ago that I even learned about rehab. Like, I didn't even really think it was a thing. Like, you just see it in movies or over in America. Yeah. And I had a mate that, another alcoholic, and does a bit of the other stuff as well. And he sort of said, he's going into rehab. And I was like, well, fuck, he must be bad for that.
Yeah.
And I was heaps worse than he was.
Yeah.
And I just didn't even really think of it as an option. And my wife, she's she sort of said for ages, like, you need help. And I went, it's just, you know, it's average. Everyone drinks. And I worked for myself, run my own business, and I'm just like, no, it's just not an option to go away for 3 months. And then it was when you come over last year, 12 months ago, that was really the peak of it. Like, that was the worst of everything. I'd sort of through me drinking. I'd walked out on my family. I was living at a mate's joint, and just every day. It wasn't going to work. Couldn't get up in the morning without it.
It's funny how, well, not funny, but it's strange how I'm the same. You know, when people suggested rehab to me, I was like, "What are you talking about? Like, I'm so far from needing rehab. Like, I'm Australian. You know, I don't have a problem."
Yep.
And then it's but even now, like, when I first came out of rehab, you know, I tell people, I went to rehab, and they're like, you know, I could have told them I killed someone. They're like, what do you mean? Like, you went to rehab? Like, it's this huge deal. And I'm like, well, no, it's, you know, I was, and you know, you see it from the other side now, and you realise just it's what you needed to do. Yeah. And I don't know about you, but like, well, it sounds like it was the same for you. Like, you're saying, you know, like, it's as you get towards the end, the fall is just so dramatic. Like, you're walking out of your family, and then to the point you're not going to work, you can't get up with alcohol. Like, what was that sort of time frame? Like, was that in like a week, a month, or like how?
No, that's sort of the last stint, as I sort of refer to it, was probably over about the 3 months was sort of the lead up, and then that sort of went on. That was April, so, and I didn't go to rehab until September. Yeah, okay. So then from there, like, I was just stuffed, and it's sort of I just given up, like, because I tried hundreds of times to quit drinking, and I just couldn't, and I just sort of accepted that. Well, this is me. I'm a drinker. I
was very much the same as well, but it accepted it, but also like I was still justifying in my head as just like, I have to do this. This is the only way I can get through the day because my life's so stressful. Like just constantly, and even to my mum and Chantel, you know, the people around me as well. Oh, you need help? No, I don't. My life is so stressful, and it's so strange to look back now and think that I'm the, you know, other people, their lives aren't nowhere near as stressful as mine because they don't have to drink like I drink. Like, but it's just it's ridiculous to think of.
Yeah. Yep.
It's so making, was it did you find it hard to make the call? Like, I know for myself, I had to get to the absolute bottom, like to go, I need help. Someone help me. I need help, and I don't know how to do it. Was that dramatic for you? Was it hard?
I sort of got to a point a little while ago. It was probably 2 years ago where I was at that real sort of like I need help, and I actually reached out to a drug and alcohol counsellor in Ballarat.
Yeah,
and
right.
it was bloody the stitch up of it all. Like I rang him and he said,
Fancy them trying to help me get my life together.
No, but like I finally built up the courage to reach out and get some help. And I think it was say on a Monday, and he got me in like straight away. It was like Thursday night.
Yeah,
and
into rehab.
Oh no, just
to see him,
to see him. And I turned up there on the Thursday, like so I'm finally going to get some help. And he's like, oh, I don't have you in my diary, mate. I've double booked you. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? He's like, oh, I can see you next Tuesday. And I'm just like, fucking don't worry about it, mate.
Yeah.
Like, like it's us men don't really reach out to help. And then I was like, but I seen him for a little bit. I kept sort of going, and that was the longest I sort of lasted without having a drink. And I think I got about 2 months up.
Oh, really?
So
yeah. Wow.
But he never really dealt with like the symptoms or the alcohol addiction. It was just ways to sustain the craving. Like
so more like a medical point of view type of thing.
Yeah.
It's well, that's bloody good. Like there's no way, that I could have done that. Like that's pretty wicked that you managed to get that jump. You could do that yourself.
It almost made it worse because in the back of my head I was like, and then like after that I got back on because I didn't realise or understand fully the addiction of it. I thought I'd be able to manage my drinking from there.
Yeah.
And then after that, every other time I might get 2 weeks was like my thing, and I'm like, nah, I've got it this time. I can control it.
Yeah.
And just had no idea how fucked I was to it.
Yeah. It's that would have been brutal because I did one of the episodes with Karen, have you heard that one? She's the lady. She's the lady from Raw who basically, helped me get me on the right path and whatnot. But in that episode, I went back and I was reading the messages out that were between her and I remember what it was like getting to that point where I needed help, and I read the message out that was, I'd said to her, I was like, I got to the point where I was like, I need help, and I'd said, okay, I'll go to hospital, but I need to know, I need guarantees, like I'm not going to be turned away, like I need to be admitted, right? They're like, I can't leave. That's the only way I'm going to do it. You need to ring them and figure it all out first, because if I do this, I can't turn back. So I can't imagine what it would have been like for you to get to that point to go, okay, I need help, and then walk in and old mate goes, sorry. I'd be like, well, that other prick's waiting. Like you could ring him now.
Yeah.
That would have been fucking savage.
Yeah, I think I literally just went straight to the bottle on the way home. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
That would have been, like just kick after kick after kick. But you did well to keep bouncing back and keep trying. Why did you keep trying?
Oh, just...
Like, what was in the back? Was there something like, was it the missus or kids or
the missus and kids.
Yeah.
That were the main reason. I tried. I don't think I ever really done it for myself until this last one. So
yeah,
and they say until you do it for yourself, it doesn't matter how much someone or the reasons behind it. If it's not for yourself, you're not going to do it.
That's a big one, and that's, I don't know about you, but like after it all, coming out the other side of it, like that whole, like getting to know you, figure out who you are again, which is so strange. Like, how old are you?
I'm 32.
Yeah, right. Fuck, you heaps young. I'm 37. Well, anyway, but it's strange in your 30s to be figuring out, like what you go through when you're sort of 17, 18, 19, with your friendship group and all that, you're figuring out your identity and who you are, to have to do all that again once everyone around you sort of, they're set in their ways and they've got their things, and you're learning yourself again, which is such a strange feeling.
Yeah, I reckon it was early on. So I went to rehab for 3 months. I reckon it was about the 4th or 5th week I got a like day release on the weekend.
Yeah.
And because I wasn't too far, it was about an hour trip for me, so I just drove home. And And yeah, I remember having a conversation with my wife, and she's like, "We've never spoken like this. Like,
Who are you?
You know, we've been together, well, you know, for 16 years." And she's like, "I feel like I'm only just getting to know you now. Like,
Yeah.
we've never had these sort of conversations." I'm like, "Yeah, I'm trying to work out who I am now. Like, it's weird."
I had that as well with like Chantel, because obviously things fell apart pretty dramatically before I went into rehab. And then going into rehab, I was just like, you know, like, are we going to work things out? You know, like I wanted all this commitment from her and she was just like, just go and sort yourself out sort of thing. And then coming out the other side of it, I was all, it was all new to me and stuff. And she was sort of, she was a bit like, she was keen to like try again. And I was like, no. And which I can definitely say, it was hard for her to understand that. From me, only months beforehand, being, you know, like, I need you. I need to know you'll be here at the other side. To then coming out the other side and her being like, well, maybe we could start hanging out or at least talking about it and stuff. And I'm like, no. And to the point where she was just like, who is it? There must be someone else. And I was like, there is, me. And she goes, what do you mean? And I was like, this is all, like, I don't know if I like you. I don't know if I like myself. Like, you know, it was such a strange thing, but it's pretty good to sort of reinvent yourself and yeah, figure out life without shit having a hold of you, I guess, sort of thing.
Yeah, yep.
So right, so you're having sort of like 2-week sort of spurts at it every now and again.
Yep.
And then how long from that, when you first met the drug and alcohol counsellor, until you got into rehab?
It was about 2 years.
Yeah, okay. Yep. Yeah, okay. And was it hard, like, going to rehab, or had you sort of made the peace that this was, I mean, because you know, as you said, you'd get it for a couple of weeks sort of thing. Did you still, was it hard for you to sort of to give up trying yourself, to I suppose admit going, I need someone else to help me do this. I don't know how to do it myself.
It sort of happened. So there was a separation between me and the wife, and then we ended up getting back together. And one of the conditions of getting back together was going to see a marriage counsellor.
Yep.
So we had the first meeting with her, and then during that meeting she said, look, there's a lot of other issues here.
Yeah.
I'd like to have a couple of appointments just separately as well. And I turned up to my first meeting with her by myself. Sorry.
Yeah.
And she's like, "You're drunk right now." I was like, I've had a couple. Like, you know, yeah, I don't talk. I don't open up. Like, this stuff's hard for me. And she's like, well, how much are you actually drinking? And like back then I was on the beers, and I'm like, maybe 20 odd a day. And she's like, you're like, that's a lot. I'm like, yeah.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah. And we spoke about it a bit more, and she's like, no, you're sort of different. There's a lot of people that come through the alcohol counselling that use alcohol as a crux, like, but you're at the point you use alcohol just for alcohol. Like, it's not mentally to shut off anymore. Now you actually have a physical addiction to it.
Yeah.
She's like, you need help or you're going to die. And like, just for some, it was just the right time, the right place. Like, I've been told I needed help for fucking 10 years, but but just that right, I don't know, come from her, whatever it was. Yeah. And I'm like, no, I am fucked here. And I was like, but I've got the wife, you know, the family, I've got the business. And she's like, have a look at your business over the last 6 months. How much more have you got left to hold on to? And then I pretty much got home and I rang the rehab within like half an hour.
Yeah, wow.
Like just something finally switched in my head. Yeah. So I'm so grateful just for that meeting. And I got out of rehab at December, and like it was a couple of days before Christmas, I actually sent her an email. I haven't talked to her since, just saying like, thank you so much. For some reason, it just stuck. Like,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I tell people, I'm no expert by any means, but I suppose because I put a large part of my life on social media on this and you know, Facebook and Instagram and Snapchat and stuff, and I get a lot of people asking me for advice, you know, how did you do this and that, or I get the most people asking me about like my partner or my husband or my dad, you know, and I'm like, fuck, I can try, like this is how I saw it from the other side, like my mum's or Chantel's and sort of thing. But it's hard to give advice. But that's the biggest thing, is that I think, from my point of view, it was just a constant, gentle, reminders. And that's so similar sort of thing to what you're talking about. It's just, it wasn't one person constantly at you or one person drilling into you. It was just that one place, right person, right time sort of thing.
Yeah, yep.
Which is all you need, obviously, to get a kick up the arse. So how long? So you rang them. So from that phone call, how long till rehab?
I booked it about a month out.
Yeah. Okay.
So
was that a hard month?
I sort of said it was so I can spend time with my family and kids and get the business in order before I go away, and none of that happened. All it was I just sat on the couch and just drank all day. I sort of, like, before I reached out to the alcohol council, like, I was at that real low, like the bottom, where I just didn't want to drink anymore. Yeah. Where this time I didn't sort of feel like that, and I was worried that if I wasn't at that lowest point, it wouldn't stick. So I just thought for the last month, I'll fucking drink it out of myself. Yeah. And it didn't fucking work. But yeah,
I can understand that. When I walked into detox, they've got to search you and your belongings for weapons and drugs and alcohol and everything. Excuse me. And to do that, you've got to sign a waiver to give them permission to do it. Mm-hmm. And I've got to obviously make sure you're sober to be able to sign the paperwork, this legal document. So I strolled in there. It was 10 a.m. was my check-in time, as I called it. Walked on in there and, asked you any questions, did you drink hand sanitizer, all this? And I was like, no, not that bad, And it was about 10:30 by the time I said, oh, well, Brett, are you to sign this paperwork? And I didn't have a big last hurrah or anything like that. I just drank the sort of normal amount what I was doing that time, and it was 10:30, and I'd stopped drinking at maybe 9:30 the night before, and they put me on the bag, and I was 0.087, 87, I think it was. Yep. Like, drunk, legally. And anyway, so they couldn't start the treatment. They put me off in this other room, and it wasn't until it was like 2:05 that I was 0.033, and then they could start giving me Valium and stuff. But for that time, for those like hours, I was, and like they kept coming in, oh, do you want a DVD player, something to distract yourself? And I was like, nah, I'm sick, because I was so hard. I was crying. I was just like, you piece of shit. It's come to this point, fancy you having to be here, and you can't even start the detox because you're tanked. Yeah. So I can appreciate what you mean, is that you gotta drive. Well, yeah, I felt the same, like to drive myself into the ground more, sort of thing, to really, I don't know, make sure I was at rock bottom, sort of thing, I guess. Yeah. But it's definitely it's a hard one. So, I mean, rehab in general, obviously a good thing because it stops you from drinking, but how was like the day-to-day sort of experiences?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad, I suppose. Like, there's a couple of people that I sort of still communicate from there, and they're just like, yeah, it was fucking shit. I'm like, well, I don't know. I sort of had mixed sort of views on it. Like, yeah, it was fucking, no one wants to be there, but I got there. And, I was there to learn, to better myself. So I had an open mind and a sort of positive attitude going into it, I suppose. But yeah, it was, so the rehab I went to turned out to be like a 12-step program, AA. Day to day was, you'd get up, you'd go for a walk sort of thing in the morning, or down to the beach. It was in Geelong. And then it was sort of like hour blocks of like activities or classes and learning, and just heaps of shit to put in. They always call it put in your toolbox, Yeah, it definitely had its challenges in there. It was.
Was it like a house sort of setup, or like?
It was an old retirement village.
Oh yeah.
So it had different wings and corridors and
a few. How many people were there?
Average was about mid-20s.
Yeah. Okay.
So yeah.
And just for drinkers or for any addiction sort of?
No, all addictions. Yeah.
Was there more? Was drinkers the most common?
No. There was sort of, out of the 20, there might have been sort of 5 or 6 of us at a time.
I was the only drinker in mine.
Yeah.
Which was Yeah, and without sounding like too, I don't know, like up myself or like elitist, I suppose, I'd had a more what I'd call normal upbringing than most of the people in there sort of thing. A lot of it was like generational stuff that people, more following in footsteps of things they've seen and whatnot, which probably made it easier, like I knew what I had potentially sort of thing, whereas a lot of the other guys, I feel didn't have a sort of a taste of what I'd call a normal life sort of thing. Yeah, but I was the only drinker, which was, it was hard as well to like relate, like meth was a big one.
Yep.
And these, I mean, they discouraged us talking too much and especially in depth about the addictions and life outside and all that sort of stuff in case it triggered people. But yeah, it did make it hard to relate sort of thing to a lot of those guys.
Yeah, righto. Oh, we were allowed to, talk about it. We just weren't allowed to. It was the glorifying.
Yeah.
Like some of the conversation, like to be in there for 90 days, and to sit down in basically you sat in a smoker's courtyard. That's where you all hung out and that. They say you got to be an addict to get an addict, and I've made like Pete that we're over here with. I've known him since I was 19 years old. Best mate in my wedding. I formed tighter connections with, especially this one bloke in there.
Yeah.
Like, because you just understand each other. It's it's so different.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, there was a bit. We definitely weren't allowed to glorify, but even like the talking stuff, it wasn't so much that there was like the rule. So we had these things called There's fucking one actually just right behind you over there. See that slip of paper on the hearth?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had these things called awarenesses. So, for example, like if you can't leave anything anywhere. So if you needed to go to the toilet and that you had that bottle of water, you wanted to leave it in the room, you go, just be aware, and like a drink bottle. Now, if you didn't, then someone gives you like an awareness slip, and it's like a punishment thing. It's trying to breed in good habits, and you've got to do like half an hour chores sort of thing.
Yeah, right.
And there's these big lists. So it wasn't so much that the structure of it wasn't, don't talk about it, don't glorify it. It was more that you could get it. You could get an awareness. People would make you aware of it, sort of thing. And that was the hard thing. It was such a pressure cooker. You're in there. It's hard for everyone. I don't want to be giving you awarenesses, making your time harder, but you've got to. You're supposed to do like 3 a day.
Yeah, right.
So, which just makes the whole thing a pressure cooker, which is what it's designed to do. But it's so it wasn't so much the structure of it going, don't talk about it. It was more people were a bit wary of it type of thing. But there was a lot of other ones. There was I should bring the rules with me on one podcast to read out, but they were very specific. Like we could only watch a movie like once a week or once a fortnight type of thing.
Yeah, right.
And it was like the criteria of the movies that we could watch was pretty tight. Obviously, nothing like drug related, and we weren't allowed to swear there or anything. So yeah, it was pretty tight. Sort of what we could and couldn't watch.
Ours was heaps more relaxed.
I'm pretty sure from what I've heard. I don't want to say it in case I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure that transformation is one of the harder ones.
Yeah.
Which they make no apologies for, because the harder it is, it's more successful. And I think they do have one of the highest success rates. But yeah, again, I hope no one pulls me up on that. I'm pretty confident that's right. But yeah, it's and yeah, some of the guys there as well had been to other ones, and then it hadn't, because it had been like they needed a bit more structure and routine, and then it come over to transformations. But I mean, different. What works for some people doesn't work for others and whatnot. I mean, I didn't even stay for all of it, so got out of it what I felt I needed to, and was on my way, sort of thing. The what was the hardest part about rehab? I mean, I suppose missus and kids, being away from them would obviously be.
Yeah, I reckon that definitely that first week, that sucked. So I went in. It was a day after Father's Day, the Monday, and that Saturday coming up was my son's birthday. Yeah. So, sort of towards the end, like when I went in there, you know, you're on Valium and that to help with your detox, but they only sort of kept you on that for 3 days and then started weaning it off. And
Yeah, well, I was on it for a week.
yeah, no,
I was full, like, and a lot.
yeah, no, they're pretty cut back there from what I hear. Yeah, that's sort of like they take your phone, everything.
Yep.
You only got phone calls. Tuesday, the males was Tuesday, Thursday night, and Saturday, 15-minute calls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when it come to me son's birthday, I was basically off Valium. I was still detoxing hard, and then they allowed me to FaceTime him the Saturday morning to open his presents. And
Oh, that would have been all right.
yeah, but yeah, that was the realization. Like, I've done this, and now, you know, I'm in here missing my kid's birthday.
Yeah.
You know, we used to, every morning there'd be check-in. So you'd basically sit out in the lounge room and go around and say how you're sort of feeling and all that sort of stuff for the day. And I think I just said good morning before running out of the room crying. Like, yeah, just everything got on top of me. Yeah, and just apart from that, that was the hardest time. But the hardest thing in there is learn to deal with your emotions. Like, you've got no escape. They say that once you start drinking, your emotional development stops.
I've heard that.
So, you know, I'm trying for the first time, I'm learning to feel all these things with no one that I know, no one I can talk to, no phone, no nothing, just basically sitting in a courtyard with 4 walls, trying to deal with shit. Like,
did you ever think you were losing your mind?
No, probably not that far. But
I had like a couple of times where I was, and conversations with other guys that were the same, that just full questioning, like, you know, like I don't know, I was probably coming off the sugar, you know, like getting the sugar out of my system and obviously detoxing the alcohol and stuff, but days where I was just like what is actually going on? Like, and the only way it didn't last long, but I swear the only way I kept saying was I was like, you know, other people have come out the other side of this. Like, I've just got to stick to this program sort of thing. You know, it's what I need to do. But I, full questioned like my sanity at some points. Like, you know, is everything I know just shit? And just I actually thought I was losing my mind.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that, and I was on that would have definitely helped. But I was on anti-anxiety medication.
Yep.
When I went in, and then I wanted to stop it when I was in there, and they're like, you can't. Like, you've got to go and get a doctor's, you got to go and, you know, it's this whole process, go and make an appointment with a doctor that they've got to approve, go to the doctor, and then, you know, to wean you off it sort of thing, like everything had to be approved by a doctor. Yep. So I completely stopped when I came out, but I was sort of like, I was just cheeking my tablets sometimes, just spitting them out, but sort of on and off, so I was, probably a bit up and down. That wouldn't have helped either. But, yeah, and one of the other guys there, he said the same thing. Like, I remember he was walking around, he was a big walker, and he was just like, I don't know if I'm like going insane. Like, I was like, dude, it's fine. Just like, this happened to me a couple of days ago. But yeah, did you have any, did anyone have any like big freakouts or anything like that? Were you, like anything that shook you up sort of thing?
Nah, not freakouts as such. There was a bloke in there one night, like off his head. We had, like, while I was in there was people smuggling shit in.
Yeah, right.
And that used to that really used to piss me off. Like,
why are they there?
Well, exactly. You know, when you walk back in, you know, from your weekend stay, you get breatho and drug test. And I'm like, I've just driven from, you know, Ballarat.
Yeah.
I've driven an hour and a half. If I had a drink, I just wouldn't have turned up. You know, like, I just had that attitude. If you don't want to be here, like, you know, leave. Yeah. Like, don't sit in here and drink and do shit in here around other people that are struggling.
Yeah.
Like, there was one bloke, he full on, he ended up cutting out his fly screen. And every night he was fucking running out, jumping over the back fence, and then going to a party, come back and sleep it off. And you're like,
did they cotton onto it?
Yeah, they kicked him out eventually. And it's just, yeah. So, yeah, there was one day, there was a bloke in there just dosed up, bloody cruising through the corridors and that. And I was like, fucking get rid of him, kick him out. And they wouldn't. They basically locked down the centre and let it, like, because of the duty of care, they couldn't kick him out. So,
It's rough. It's a strange one, isn't it? Like, I see where you came from. But yeah, at the same time, if they boot him out and then something happens, they're fucking liable, aren't they?
Yeah.
You got any fond memories, like, of rehab? Like any like good friendships or anything that you made, or something that's like really burnt into your brain? I mean, apart from learning how to not drink piss every day.
Yeah, I don't know, really. Nothing really jumps out at me. Like I said, I've got a real good mate that I speak to. He's just hit 6 months as well.
Yep.
No, I wouldn't say nothing really.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a terrible time, but it wasn't the best time of my life. So there's.
I think it did wonders for me as well. Like not having your phone. You know, we had no contact with the outside world. If I was in there and we walked down the street and I saw you, I can't acknowledge, can't say hi or anything.
Yeah, right.
Can't, like, so no phone, no internet, no newspapers, no telly, no nothing, which was amazing in itself. Like looking back, you know, not the doom and gloom and all the shit constantly all the time. Like to be able to process stuff and emotions, all that sort of stuff. As you said, it's it definitely helped. That was a blessing in itself for sure. The here's this. I keep meaning to bring this. This is my journal from when I was in rehab, and I meant to bring it in. I think it was when Otis was on here, but I didn't. But in any case, so this was like I was only a couple of days in. I think I must have been 2 or 3 days in. So every day we had to jot down our feelings. I didn't. You had to be like in stage 1 of the program, but I was like, I'm here. I'm going to do, like, regardless whether I need to or not, I'm going to do it. Like, I want to get out of it. Even, like, I didn't reply. I had Westy and the kids and my parents writing me letters and stuff. I didn't write back for weeks. I was just like, nah, I can't. Like, I have a look at them, and then I'll just put them aside, and I was like, I'm focusing on this. Like, I didn't write back for ages.
Yeah.
But so today was amazing. I was up at 5 a.m. feeling extremely rested. Finished writing out the rules. That was one thing I had to do, was write out all 100 and something rules. So I'd finished writing out all the rules, had done my soap, and had hung my washing out all by 6 a.m. It felt amazing waking up on a Saturday feeling so fresh and ready to tackle the day. Nothing felt like a chore. Going on the day trip with everyone to Zudu was brilliant, and I had a blast. This also made me realise just how much alcohol had affected my life. I've been there so many times before with my family, but have never felt comfortable, and have done it basically just to please the missus and kids. But today, I actually had fun and actually appreciated it with a bunch of other random blokes, which excites me so much. Of the things I will now be able to actually appreciate and enjoy with the people that I love most. That was, I still remember that day, man, like going to Zudu, which is, what's a zoo basically, you're not from here, so. And I remember before, like when they said, they sort of, everyone knew we were doing something, but no one knew what. I remember they said we're going to Zudu, and the first thing that I thought was like, fuck, what if I see someone, you know, like what if someone I know, or then what if the second thought was someone that recognises me from like the whole letter stuff. And I was like, fuck, this is going to be like the most embarrassing thing like ever. I don't know whether anyone did recognise me or not, but they didn't make it known. But once I got over that, and the whole, like, I remember being there in the past, and I'd have piss in the car, like in my car fridge, and I'd just be like, fucking, you know, like, come on, or I'd duck out of the car and have a smoke and quickly like rip a beer into me. Yeah. But it was like, just let's get this done, like get it over with, so then I can have a beer. Yeah. But it was so, like, we were there for ages, man. We had lunch and stuff there, and it was such a good day. And I remember that dawned on me. I was like, if this feels this good with a bunch of like addicts that I've known for a couple of weeks, how good's it going to feel to do this with people that I've known for ages? Yep. And it was such a good, like, that was one of the things that made me like, yeah, I've got to stick this out. Like, I need to do this. But that was another good. Did you guys do like group activities and? Yeah,
every Saturday would be a
spoiled.
Yeah, it'd be a group outing.
Yeah.
We had. There was sort of an option to go do a paid activity or a free activity, but everyone had to have client cash to be able to do it. And there was always someone that had low, so it was always the free stuff. But it was coming into summer, so there was a few beach trips and.
Did you ever get that feel like, what if someone sees me? What if?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. It was so weird. Sort of looking back on it even now, is that, like, I never hid my drinking. Like, I was the drunk. I was, like, it was just my personality. It was exactly who I was. And yet I was ashamed to be the alcoholic.
Yeah.
It's
strange that, isn't it? You're proud of it in one regard and then ashamed in the other. Like,
yeah. So, I didn't tell anyone really that I was going to rehab, maybe like 2 mates and just like my immediate family. No one knew. So, because I was just so ashamed of it, and and like you said, I was in a complete different town. Be like, fuck, what if I see someone?
Yeah. Did it take you long to claim it? Like, claim the glory, I suppose. Like, after, like, have you? Well, I suppose if you haven't already, you're about to by the time this gets released. But if you have, did it take you long to to go to people like, yeah, I went to rehab and now I don't drink. Like, look how sick I, like, you know what I mean?
Through like AA and that sort of really helped me. And one of the biggest things in AA, like, I've completed the 12 steps, and the 12th step is helping another. Okay. So, especially when I first got out of rehab, I still kept it very to myself. But now if there's anyone I can sort of reach out to or have a conversation with, like, straight up, I tell them, I'm an alcoholic. Like, this is what I've done. And even with, I went and done a job the other week, and one of the clients was saying about their daughter and sort of struggling. Okay. I was like, I'm 6 months. I went to rehab last year, and I think I sat there for about an hour talking to her.
So good, dude. I went to AA. That reminds me how you were saying you went to the when the counsellor picked out that you were tanked, essentially, and that was the jolt that you needed. So when I got to that point where I was like, I wasn't going to work, I was just drinking all the time, before I'd accepted that, like, I was on the cusp of actually getting help. And I had a mate, Amity, who deals with, she's had a lot of different roles, but deals with, I suppose, the non-ideal side of life. It's all, crisis, this and that, and so she's very tapped into that sort of world, how to get people help for different scenarios and whatnot. And she looked it all up all for me, and she was like, look, there's an AA in Dodgers. Like, I'll take you. I'll come with you. And I was like, yeah, it took a bit, but I was like, yeah, why not? And she picked me up because I was drinking. I had to drink to go. Yeah. And that, as you know, one of the rules is if you drink, you can't share.
Yes.
So for those that don't know, at AA, it's sort of pretty much like the movies. You all sit around, my name's Garrick, I'm an alcoholic, and then you tell how you talk about basically anything, how you've been feeling that week. Just whatever. But if you're under the influence, you can't share. You can still be there and listen, but you just can't share. So, Amity had taken me to AA, and I was drinking, and I was still talking and stuff. And then, I suppose I didn't take it seriously. I didn't, give it the merit that it deserves. Then the next time I went, I was drinking. I had someone else drop me off, and I'd pump myself full of drinks, and that's just what I was doing. So it wasn't really working. It was only where they have it at O'Kine's house. It was, they double booked it for something else. So it was round at like this surf club, and so I'd been dropped off because I'd been drinking. And I'm standing at the front, and like no one was there. One of the other guys, he pulled up, and he was like, "Oh, no one told you. It's actually around the surf club. Jump in, I'll give you a lift." I was like, "Oh, right, no worries. Thanks, man." Got in the car. He could obviously smell it on me. And he's like, "You've been drinking, man." And I was like, yeah. And he's like, "Oh, just don't forget you can't share." I was like, "Oh, yep, no worries." And then so we go in there, everyone's going around the circle, and then the leader was like, "Oh, and he's like, "Oh, Garrick, it's I've been told that you can't share because you've been drinking." And I was like, "Oh, actually," and this bloke like fucking just shot me these daggers. I was like, "Oh, here we go." But I was like, "Oh, actually, there is something I would like to say, but I don't want to share." I was like, "I'd just like to firstly thank you because, I've been doing this the whole time and getting away with it. So I'm glad that I've been pulled up. like that I've been called out on my shit. Yeah, thank you. And that was it. And that was one of the big things for me. I was like, oh, well, I can't. You know, like I was just flaunting. I wasn't there for the right reasons. You know, I was doing it because other people wanted me to go to AA and stuff. But yeah, it's But anyway, getting back to what, getting back to AA, it never really did it for me. I mean, I think I'm glad that I did it before I went to rehab and stuff to sort of try everything. It was a part of rehab. You go once a week, and then when I came out, I stuck to the structure of the rehab program to sort of give myself the best chance. So I kept going to AA, but it just wasn't for me.
Yeah.
Like, and some people, like, you know, I know that some of the people there had been going for like 20 years or more, you know, like just can't, which is great. But for me, like sitting there every time and talking that stuff, you know, saying I am an alcoholic all that time, and it just didn't. And I hope I don't discourage people like from going if they're thinking about it, if it's working for me. But just for me, I didn't like the people there were amazing, so good. But I don't think it helped me, sort of thing, with my sobriety journey.
Yeah, righto. Yeah. Well, what I just sort of say that AA, well, especially where I am every meeting has a different structure. So it's not everyone that you do just sit around in a circle. But yeah, when I got to rehab and, you know, they had the 12 steps and the 12 traditions up on the wall, and I was like, fuck this. Like, you know, because, you know, it was a program about God, and I'm, well, you know, atheist still, you know, or I'm more, after reading AA and that, more agnostic. Like, if God was to stand in front of me and shake my hand, well, it's pretty hard to deny. But, so yeah, the thing about giving your power over to God and that, and I was like, that's fuck that. But I actually went to a meeting. It was first or second one, and this bloke's like, it come up and spoke to me just randomly. And he just asked me how I was going and that. And I was like, oh, I'm here with the rehab because I have to. And we got talking, and later on, he's like, so what's your thoughts on AA? Are you going to have a crack at it? I'm like, oh, fuck, I don't know. I don't know if it's for me. He's like, well, you're in rehab anyway. Like, just give it a go. Like, your life's obviously, you know, when you're making the decisions, and you obviously do it so well. Yeah. I was like, well, fuck. Yeah. So I just thought, like, I'll just throw myself into this. Give it 3 months. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at least have a fucking go at it. Yeah. And then, it's not, you come to learn it's not about God and all that for, you know.
Well, they reference it as your higher power, don't they, a lot?
Yeah. Like, I heard it's about sort of some releasing control. They say, you know, give control over to your higher power. And we had this one lady, she'd come in and run a program every week in there, and she's like, oh, my higher power is, you know, a kookaburra in a tree. I'm like, well, I'm not giving my life over to a fucking bird. Like, that's...
There was people in the rehab, in AA, that they were the same thing. It was like looking for signs and seeing that, you know, beauty and everything and all that sort of stuff. I think they leave it up to interpretation a lot. I think.
It is. Yeah, it's a God of your understanding.
It's a good way to put it.
It's something that you... I think the only criteria is it must be loving and kind. So for me, my higher power is AA. It's the rooms.
Oh yeah, yep.
You know, so it's not this mythical thing or this bloke in know, floating on a cloud. It's the rooms. It's, you know, because I can see the evidence of what's been done. I can see the outcome of people that actually.
It's a bloody good way to think. That's a really, really good way to think of it. I've never thought of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking tractors going past with a fertilizer on it. And you're still going AA now, fits and spurts, or?
Yeah, I only do about one a week at the moment.
How many were you doing to start with?
Or during the rehab, it's 90 meetings, 90 days.
One a day?
Yeah, one a day you go to.
Wow.
And then Friday was 2.
Wow.
You go to a lunch meeting and then a night meeting.
Yeah.
So yeah, one a day. So, and then
there is a whole, I don't know. I mean, it's nice to hear. It's nice to hear other people not struggle, but it's nice to be around familiar people. You know, there is light at the end of the tunnel. I'm not the only one in this boat. You know, sort of thing. So sometimes you're the worst one in the room. Sometimes you're the best one. It's all, you know. People bring you up. You bring other people up. It definitely has its merits for sure.
Yeah, and like without the rooms, like you said, there's people that, get up and talk that are 10, 15, 20 years sober. I remember being in rehab in the first 2 weeks or something, because I didn't know anyone. You sort of, and you're just a fucking mess. You got no self-confidence. So you sort of cling to people.
Yeah.
There was a bloke, so the rehab I went to, it was a 90-day program, but then you can go into transition and basically you live there and you get freedom. Well, this bloke had, I think it was 130, 140 days up.
Yeah, well.
So he'd been there for a while in transition. He got out and then he left at like lunchtime. We seen him that night at a meeting and he was fucked.
Really?
Yeah. And I'm like, this bloke's been in, 4 months and he didn't even last 2 hours out there. And it was just standard. And I was like, without AA and actually seeing that it was possible, it's, they say the numbers are like, they'll sit us down on the couch and they'll say there's 30 of you here. Maybe one of you will get it.
They when I left, I mean, especially because I left early, but Dave, who's such a legend, but anyway, at the time I was like, I'm going to leave. I'd been umming and ahhing about it for like a week sort of thing, back and forth thing, and which he knew about. But yeah, when I was like, I'm going to go, Dave, like I think I've got everything out of this I can. He said to me, he was just like, well, chances are you'll be back. He's like, now that you've done it once, but don't let that dishearten you. Now that you've done it once, it's easy to get you through again. He told me it was like 87 or 78% or something. Like, it was huge. He's like, you'll fail. I was like, fucking right. I mean, I can see where he's coming from. I was leaving without, after dipping my toe in the water sort of thing, but I just generally did feel that I'd have got enough out of it. But you're right. It's just like alcohol, for example. I mean, even drugs, like it's everywhere, literally everywhere. That's what I was so blown out the first time 12 months ago when I went up the high country with Pete and those guys. It wasn't a huge crew of us, but like no one drank. I dare say that was probably out of like respect for me, not to. I would have been all right with it, but that blew me out because I was like, well, no one's drinking, no one's doing drugs. Like this is odd. Like beforehand, any trip that would have gone on would have been laced with piss. Like it's all would have been in the fridge.
Yeah. I remember. I mean, them boys, they just never really drank much. Like if they'd have a blowout, it was because I pushed them into it. But I remember going on trips with other mates. Like we'd be going away for maybe 4 days, and we'd get our groceries and go to the bottle shop, and they'd get a slab of, between them and maybe a bottle, and I'm like, I'll have 3 or 4 slabs, and like even in my mind, I'm like, this isn't enough.
It's always you always get that lurking, like, what if I run out? Like, what I'm going to have to think of an excuse to go back into town or go back, always. And I always hated that, especially like I've given up the smokes and I don't have any vices. Well, that'll probably come back to bite me, but at the moment I have no vices that jump to mind. None of the bad ones that I was trying to get rid of anyway. But I used to hate that. I hate, like, even going out for a hunt. Oh, I'm going to go and sit out and glass this, this hill or something. Have I got enough smokes to last me that long? Like, hate having to rely on things like that.
Yeah.
Fucking did me head in. But used to do it all the time. And even like going out to hunt. Oh, as soon as I finish, like I got beer in the car fridge. I'll be into it. Like I'd pump a few beers before I get back to camp,
Yeah, I'd cut the hunt short just to get back.
Yeah, it's the same with work. I mean, you work for yourself. I don't know about you, but I was like, it's raining and it's like 2 o'clock. Oh, I'll finish early. We'll go to the pub. And it's raining. It's 12 o'clock. Oh, we'll go to the pub. And it's like, it might rain in 2 days' time, and it's 10 a.m. We'll go to the pub.
I do a lawn care business, and I turn the fuel tap off on the mower at 8:30.
Did you really?
Yeah, I got to the point, especially that before I went into rehab. I just like Dad, because Dad works with me. My won't start. He's like, give it here. I'll have a look at it, because he was a small engine mechanic as well. I'm like, no, it's fucked. Don't worry about it. I'll go home and I'll rip it apart in the shed and I'll see what the go is. Yeah.
He would have known that. Do you think about that now and think like, fuck, like he would have known, like how embarrassed?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think about that stuff a lot, about like the things that you're convinced that like people don't know. Like, this is my secret. This is no one's going to know this, and you're walking in and you're like, you slur the odd word type of thing. Like, I notice that now. People, like if they slur they'll slur one word that's really obvious. I remember when I used to do that, and you think no one would have caught that one word, but you don't realise that the whole conversation's fucked.
Yep.
Like you're all over the show and all that stuff. Like,
Yeah, I used to answer bloody client phone calls. Like if someone rang me at like 5, 6 o'clock, and I'd been drinking since 8 in the morning, and I think I was right to talk to, and it only sort of dawned on me. I was talking to the rehab manager. He's like, "Yeah, when you rang up here, like you were fucked." I was like, "No, I don't even remember talking to you. I thought I only spoke to this." I was like, "I'm sure it was a woman." And he's like, "No, we've had like 3 conversations." I was like, "Oh." I was like, oh, fuck. I thought I used to be able to hold it together on the phone, but...
You always do, man. Like, that's the thing. You're always convinced that it's not as bad as what it actually is.
Yeah.
And that, which is so far from the truth. I remember, like, I'd go to the pub in Sorel, I'd drink at the Gaudy, and then I'd go and get my hair cut, or I'd go and, I'd do all these activities, and I'd cringe now if I was a hairdresser and someone came in, tank, not necessarily been drinking, but tanked like I would have been, that I was convinced I could hide. Like, it just makes me cringe thinking about it now. And it was just part of my like day-to-day life. You literally do. You centre everything around alcohol.
Yeah.
And I was like, my mum would run, like my kids to like soccer after. Oh, I'm up in town. I can do this and that. So I was always, oh well, it's not affecting my life because mum can do that, or mum's doing that for me because she's up that way anyway. But then, like, I'd miss things and whatnot, but you're convinced that it's not ruining your life, but it literally is. Like, yeah. Yes. The do you think you've got it? Like,
it's
like you don't want to jinx yourself.
yeah, exactly. I feel solid.
Yeah,
but I'm still like regularly sort of checking on myself.
Yeah, that's a good way to be.
Not make sure I'm not complacent. Like, I know it could. Well, it's one slip, isn't it? It's So no, I feel good. I feel solid and strong, but I'm also I'm cautious of it.
Are you? That's it. Judging by the way you're talking, it's no more drinking ever again. Is that where you're at?
It has to be.
Yeah,
it has to be. And that was one of the biggest realizations. Like one of the biggest things I learned in rehab. And
so you hadn't made that decision before you went in.
I had no idea.
Okay.
I'd absolutely I went into rehab and I was like, I'll do the 90-day program, give myself the best chance, and I'll be fixed when I walk out. I didn't understand it was a lifelong thing. So and that was the biggest thing. Like, every time I fall over at 2 weeks, it wasn't really a slip. Like, because I've had 2 weeks off, I'll be able to control myself this time. I can stop at 2, or and you so can.
It's weird. I get mates and randoms, and credit to them, not trying to discredit what they do or have done, but people say to me, "Oh, you must feel amazing." A couple of years of that drinking, I've been 2 weeks, or I've been a month, and I feel great. And I've said it so many times, like that's great, especially if you've got an issue, but you can't really compare them. Like, 2 weeks is nothing compared to like a month, and a month is nothing compared to 2 months. Like, you just keep feeling better and better and better. And I was so gentle on myself, I didn't push myself in, like, both mentally and socially and physically and stuff for so long. Like, big change and just be careful and all that. But now I'm well at the point, like, I've got to start pushing with, I'm like, well, I'm sweet, I'm not going to drink, same thing, cautiously. I think I've got it, but I'm still cautious. But it's like, well, now I can get a bit healthier. I've used the excuse for too long, like, oh, you've just been through a bit, like. But now I can, it'd be good. I need to start running or doing something. But yeah.
So I haven't really had any big social events.
Is that by choice?
No, just nothing's really come up.
Yeah.
I live a pretty quiet lifestyle anyway. But obviously Christmas and that, but that wasn't bad on the alcohol. It was just the social anxiety. Like,
it's so strange too. The stuff that I think people use. I wouldn't. I live my life, a large part of my life on social media and stuff. But I'm the same. Like, going into things, if I talk at events or Christmas and stuff like that. Whereas to dull the senses a bit before you're using alcohol. Now it is overwhelming. And I wouldn't class myself as an anxious sort of person or anything like that. Like, I think like to think I think pretty well on my feet and I adapt to situations and stuff, but still it's like, fuck, there's a lot going on that I'm going to be walking into a lot, you know, it is. I'm a lot more aware of myself, I guess, now as well.
Yeah.
And the same as like I'm all right now, but at the start I'd go to like a birthday or a wedding or something like that, and I'd be like, if I felt I was like, this is getting a bit much, either because everyone's drinking and I can't, or it's just getting too much for me, I was just go. And the big thing is, I was so down on myself the first time when I did that. I left a party early. Oh, everyone's going to be like, oh, you fucking scumbag, you can't hang out now. No one notices. If you're somewhere everyone's pissed, you are the only person that know. Everyone else is too caught up in their own little world.
Yeah.
It's easy to make that sort of, to come to that conclusion, I guess, because I was so used to being like the life of the party and being so loud and all that because I was drunk. You know, if you go to a party and you're not like that, you know, people aren't looking for you to be like that. Oh, Garrick doesn't drink anymore. So there's someone else takes up that role, you know. So all eyes are on them. You sneak out early, no one knows. That's yeah. So you'd definitely recommend rehab to anyone that needed help, sort of thing.
Definitely. I definitely knew I couldn't do it by myself.
That's the hardest bit, I think, is getting to the point to accept that, to realise that, to go, oh, well, I can't actually do it myself. That's the hardest bit, in my eyes, for sure. Yeah, cool. Well, any advice, any like last bit of advice, or anything else you'd like to add, or anything like that?
Yeah, I don't know. Anyone out there that is struggling, just reach out, communicate to someone.
Yeah.
Like I said, AA worked for me. There's an open phone line there. You can call 24/7 pretty much. I suppose just know there is help out there.
It's a lot more of a common thing, isn't it, now? Like, you could literally ring anyone and go, I need help, and that, you know, wherever you ring will point you in the right direction. It may not be where you need to be straight away, but it'll start the ball rolling.
There's a lot of there's also at the same time there is a lot of like people that don't know either. Like my doctor I use, like, awesome doctor, like write me a script for anything. That's why I sort of, you know, very easy to make appointments. But I went back to her the other month. I just needed a new script, and she's like, oh, how's the alcohol going? I was like, oh, I haven't touched it in like 6 months. I went to rehab. And she's like, what's rehab?
Yeah, well,
I was like, you're a fucking doctor. Like, so
when that was hard to get me detoxed as well. Because I went to the doctor, that was everyone's like, you need to see the doctor. And good thing I did, because I was going to slow down. He was like, can't, got to keep doing what you're doing. You need to get detoxed. But then he knew how to get detoxed, but he didn't know how to get me into detox or anything like that. But if you ring these, I mean, once you start that ball rolling, once you start sort of sniffing about it, it's pretty easy to find. You know, I was lucky I had Karen to help me the whole way, but I mean, it's not hard. Like, you know, if you do come to that bridge and your doctor can't help you, which is, you know, you Anglicare, Lifeline, like so many places, it was raw for me. As you said, there was, like, if you Google drug and alcohol counselling, you know, that'd be a good start. It's easier than what people think. And the other big thing, actually, as well, which is a big thing for me, I don't know about you, but I was convinced before I'd accepted and made the decision I'm going to get detox and go to rehab, I was like, I can't wipe out 3 months of my life. If I do, all my other friends are successful stuff, if I wipe out these 3 months of my life, I'm never going to recover financially. Like, I'm never going to get ahead. And then was it this, like, when I came out, it couldn't have been further from the truth. I did more in the first 3 weeks than I did, 3 years before that. Did you find the same thing?
Yeah, 100%.
Did you think that you were writing your life off by doing that? You were going to...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, I thought I had no clients left, I'd have to build the business up from the ground, but I sort of accepted I didn't have a business really left anyway. And it went fucking nuts, all this shit, I can't leave my family. Like, we're the strongest we've ever been in. Yeah. In 16 years, really. Like, it's... Yeah.
That's so good to hear, man. But it's so fucked that people don't realise that they're just the pull that piss can have on you.
Oh, yeah.
Like, to be able to convince yourself, nah, I've got it, we'll battle through, life will be... Yeah, in some ways, I honestly feel that rehab has set me up, not for failure. Well, I often feel myself... I compare too much to my experience with rehab now. Like, you know, that's, my life is so much better. But now I look at other things and I'm like, oh, you know, this could be better, that could be better. Things that don't necessarily need to be, you know, or that they are the way that they are. You know, things that aren't perfect, because that's honestly the change it's had in my life was so big. I compare a lot of stuff to it now. Like, yeah, but no, it's definitely a good thing. No, well, yeah, thanks for it takes a lot of courage to I suppose voice your story and tell your story and stuff and your experiences, and no doubt, man, it'll do you wonders. You know, it's another step in, as you said, like the last step, helping other people. I get messages all the time, man, from people saying, you know, this has helped me and that's helped me, so I'll forward them on to you, because no doubt there will be some. So
yeah, I'm always up to reach out, have a chat with someone if need be.
Happy days. Oh, thanks for coming on, bruv.
Thanks for having me.
Sweet. How'd that go?
Oh, yeah. You tell me. You're the...
It was good, man. It's a bit over an hour.
Oh, was it?
Oh, hang on. I'll get a photo of it. Yeah.
It felt like about 20 minutes.
Everyone says that, which makes me feel good, because I feel like I'm doing my job good.